World Masters NA qualifiers. We've got DC going up against Complexity here in a winner bracket semifinals best of 3. Winner of this has to face up against Immortals, and loser of this, well, they drop down to face up against someone. I don't actually know who because that game hasn't been played yet, so that should be a fun mystery. I'm Mike Loris, going to be joined by Kefka for the second game. Dude, just getting done with EU, now taking a dip over to NA. Looks not too dissimilar, although the IO pickup from Complexity, it's been their bread and butter. They're going to be able to get it first phase.
I'm pretty hyped. You know, there's a Lich pick. I'm super excited to watch this game for sure. Not tired of that hero at all. So I'm gonna be interesting to see, does he skill Ice Armor this game maybe? Didn't do it in EU until a bit later. It was pretty unique. Oh well, I'll take it all back. This is gonna be something unique actually and interesting.
And the answer is probably yes. Like, will he skill Ice Armor against Bristleback? Probably. That seems pretty good here up against this pure physical-based damage dealer in the Bristleback. But as I said, Complexity have been doing really, really well recently. The brand has been struggling in Dota a little while ago, but now they're really starting to get their act together with this new roster of theirs, and they've been finding a lot of success with IO Tiny. That's why we see Tiny being first phase banned out right now. DC obviously done their homework, but IO Bristleback is maybe a little bit slower than IO Tiny, as in they can't get kills quite as quickly, but it is still very, very oppressive and can even go towards a dual offlane scenario.
Yeah, I think Brisset is kind of a half-forgotten hero. The hero has a lot of weaknesses though, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they run it to make up for that. It's kind of like it relies a lot on Ancients to really take off in farm and become strong, and it can have weird itemizations a lot of the time as well, and it gets wrecked by mana draining heroes and items. Kind of awkward there, but it definitely could be strong. It's kind of rare to see the hero at all though, so it's definitely not considered to be a strong hero though. Just to give that out there. And DC has the third pick now. Probably gonna pick their position 4 hero because they don't want to show that Puck is on a certain role yet. Against IO, I think heroes like Kanka is super good. Could also pick like a simple initiator like Sand King or Earth Spirit.
Yeah, or Earth Shaker even. All of them would be not too away from the average. Slardar though is like a little bit more away from the average, but still works pretty well here. I mean, you got to focus down that IO somehow, though. The Slardar right now, yeah, it's really nice to have that AoE stun up against the IO and the Bristleback. It seems like that kind of role of being able to stun both the IO and the partner is going to be able to be filled by like most 4-position heroes. And Slardar right now, I don't really know. I feel like Slardar is only really good when you kind of build around that Corrosive Haze, and Puck and Lich is not really building around it necessarily.
I think Slardar has a lot of weaknesses compared to most 4s. And I also don't, I think when you see IO combos, I think the better way to play is to get IO killers, more so than getting heroes that kills the IO partner, as in Slardar amps the Bristleback and then they kill the Bristle. I think generally you want heroes that can kill IO a bit easier, and when you have Lich already, you're gonna struggle. Your position 5 can't really do anything to IO, and then you need some more damage on other heroes. Puck and Slardar are okay, but I think it's maybe would have been better with a few other heroes. And Complexity is gonna pick up one of the strongest safe lane supporters, which is the Bane. It's very versatile because of his strong laning phase.
Being able to very clearly see the Slardar come in, or any other hero come in, and being able to have an answer for that is certainly very nice. Like, if you compare the Slardar and how he roams around the map to someone like a Spirit Breaker, like the Bane will have a lot more difficulty actually landing a Nightmare. Cast animation on Bane is a real thing, but Slardar just is very fast, but not quite that fast. So for Complexity, just looking to shore up, as you said, that safe lane, and is I love this hero, man. You can do some crazy things with Bane as far as lane control is concerned, and if DC, I don't know how they would, But if they are going to throw 3 heroes into that lane, then Bane is definitely a hero that can survive that and can strike back to a decent degree. But odds are it's not going to happen. It's just going to be dual lanes at worst. DC, though, they go ahead and grab the Monkey King. Now, with that Slardar now making a really, really potent physical damage duo, we'll have that boundless strike stun, obviously, for the Bane is incredible. Up against the IO partner is incredible, but just mostly looking at the matchups, you're only looking at only one melee hero so far in the Bristleback, so Monkey King can still be answered here by complexity.
5 seconds remaining.
I think Monkey King is a pretty good pick. I haven't really thought about Slara Monkey King as a combo, but it does seem like it could work very well together. And it also keeps their lanes very versatile, as in, you have Lich Monkey King, they can lane even dual off lane if you want, Puck can go any solo lane, or even with Lich if mainly in the dual lane off lane then. And Slardar could still be a core, even though I really doubt it. And complexity are pretty quick with the 4th pick, which is gonna be a Beastmaster, which is a pretty classic, I would say, for their team, who is pretty renowned as a very good Beastmaster player. And I think their lineup has a very interesting aspect right now, and they have something they lack as well, which they need to fill. But both Bane and Beast can kind of like just sit in side lanes and wait for a hero to enter. Then they just use ultimate on them and they kill. Beastmaster can of course push a bit as well, but you have a really good setup for IO Bristle. Unfortunately, I don't think Bristle is generally good in that aspect because he doesn't have any burst damage. So it's easier to bait IO Relocate. Unless if it was a Tiny, for example, that hero is dead instantly, But Bristle doesn't work that way. And they also need a team fighter in their last pick now, because they have like no team fight right now.
And that's pretty much like the big difference between the IO and the IO Tiny and the IO Bristleback. Like if you're able to spot someone out with a Hawk or catch someone with a Nightmare with a Bane, you relocate in a Tiny and bam, you got that kill like every single time. It's super easy. But with the Bristleback, you relocate in, you still might get the kill. But if it's someone like a Puck, you will have to expend quite a bit. If you only have the Roar, there's no guarantee you get that kill. So I still think the Beastmaster is a fantastic pick, especially up against that Monkey King, Wild Axes. Putting a 4-second stun on that nuke feels good. But yeah, it is going to be, as you said, complexity still needing either a lot of team fight or some way to really fully capitalize off of this kind of mobility and kind of pick off power that they have. It really depends on where they want to send this IO Bristleback, I feel. If they feel like there's enough room for another... no, I was going to say Tinker. That doesn't really...
I think it's really hard for them, actually. I was thinking, like, if they want to skip teamfight, they could pick up a Klings and go pure split push, but that's banned. They banned it themselves. So I think the teamfight option is the way to go, but it's pretty damn hard, because they're lacking a carry, most likely. And the carries generally aren't, like, strong teamfight heroes. Monkey King is one of the stronger ones, which is taken already. And I don't know, I think they're pretty comfortable doing weird heroes though. Necro is banned, Venom is banned, which would be the most obvious options. Maybe Void, it doesn't fit with their team though, so that's not good. I don't know, it's pretty hard. I can't really come up with a clear hero that would fill their needs. And I would also feel like it's actually a strong hero at the same time.
And you already know you're going up against these lanes, which are going to be pretty tough. So this does seem like the time to pick up like those weirder heroes that maybe suffer a little bit in lane, but have a really powerful mid game.
Oh, Storm. Okay, it's not too bad. I think it's okay. It kind of does both instead of being like either split push or team fight. But they are definitely lacking some team fight with this lineup. So they're gonna have to play a lot around the map and get an advantage that way. Because in a team fight, even though they already picked 5 heroes, I see it being hard against what DC can pull up. DC has their last pick though. They don't need anything necessarily. They have team fight. They have good pick off. They have strong laners. So this is basically up to what Abed wants to play. I'm assuming maybe he doesn't. I think Mason is gonna play the Monkey King, so it's Abed's zero left. So I think he can. I think he has total choice now, now, because I don't see them lacking anything.
Yeah, it's gonna be dual lanes where he's not really in a lot of pressure. Timber the pick for DC. If you have all your you have all your bases covered already, then you may as well just pick up a lot of extra damage to kind of pile on. It will be Abed playing the puck. Did he actually change his name to Faker? I thought like, okay, that's pretty hilarious.
I mean, yeah, I think he's just messing around a bit with changing to Faker.
Oh well, but we don't talk about such things on this stream. But they're gonna give.
I mean, I can talk about it. I have no problem.
Shut up. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I literally have no idea who this Faker guy is. I have no clue. But either way, the Young Mojo MSS is going to be playing the Timbersaw. Will be Mason on the Monkey King. And puck matchup, maybe going to be that dual lane for complexity and going to give the Storm Spirit a safe lane. You definitely have some options when you have this IO.
Yeah, I think this lineup looks more normal, and I would favor it as well if I had to choose, which I will choose, and I will choose DC.
Mm-hmm.
But Complexity definitely has like a very interesting lineup that definitely has its niche that could just kind of snowball. So we're gonna see. I think it might lack a lot though when it comes to actual like pressure. That's not split push, like team fighting and like stability.
They may struggle
a lot
a
of
little
smokes
bit to deal
and
with this Timber. Like this Timbersaw is facing up against a couple of disables here and there, but when you look at Bristleback, he's purely physical. Beastmaster is mostly physical, and even Storm Spirit, though he does have some magical components, relies a lot on those right clicks. So reactive armor is just going to be a very, very tough nut to crack. We have seen Complexity in the past, though, deal with Timbersaws pretty effectively. We'll see if they're able to do it now. Z-Freak is going in pretty deep, and MSS is just hiding in the trees. Timbersaw, you traitor, you're supposed to hate trees. You're not supposed to embrace them like that. They're just trying to get a read on some of these lanes, but for the DC side, they will have most of their lanes hidden right now. I mean, they only see the puck and the Lich. Not really going to be all that much information right now. The Monkey King is going towards that bottom lane, where he'll face up against Beastmaster, and I assume that lane is just like 70-30 for the Monkey King. Beastmaster has some answers, but not that many. Oh, they're going to get into a fight for this rune. They really have to be careful of this, though, because with this tether and with the Quill Spray, that will stack up super high, and they can just ignore the Timbersaw, and reactive armors won't work.
Oh, Mason. Goodbye.
Oh, I chose the wrong fight to watch, man. Oh,
yeah, wow. I was watching top, because it's like a Timber versus Bristle. That seems like the more impact, but Mason fed a first blood, and he got a TP, okay, so that's pretty good. Otherwise he would have lost a lot of time, and that's the Lich, you know. Level 1 is like, well, I can right click, but I'm not doing any damage really, and Mason will die because of it. Maybe should have killed Force Blast. I don't think they should have been there, honestly. That's probably the main thing. Limp mid gotta struggle.
A little bit too greedy there. Limp is already going to have a tough time up against that puck. The matchup is perfectly fine for the puck. You have the range advantage. You have very comparable damage. Add a Slardar that's just hanging around, a boots first Slardar at that. And with the fact that Limp is most likely just going to be left on an island means that he's going to get very little. Now, it is very hard to like keep control of this lane, so it will still be pushing in. Abed will have to give Limp that experience, but still, it's not safe experience because here comes the crush. They have right clicks, they have a little bit of nuking power from the puck. He takes tower aggro, and Limp will still be under the gun. And again, there's no one who can really help out here. coL, though, is messing up Moon on the bottom lane. Bane is just a powerhouse, and they are going to still go for Limp.
Oh, Limp.
Right clicks, and the TP is canceled. Limp will go down. As we got ourselves a real Faker over in the mid lane. We'll take down Limp, and we'll just look to lock down this mid lane.
Who did mid? I didn't catch.
That was IO that cancelled it.
Yeah, I think he baited Limp into death, honestly. I think Limp had it under control and then was like, let's kill with a TP, or if IO said it. I think Limp thought he was gonna get support there. Otherwise, I think we would have played it a bit differently.
Well, Limp is back right now, and CS-wise is actually still ahead of the puck. Of course, that kill is kind of even things out. Looking at this bottom lane, though, Moo is doing just fine up against this MK of Mason. Yeah, you give away first blood, but it's definitely not the end of the world. The Bane is going to be providing some serious muscle. And up towards top lane, MSS is pretty darn untouchable here. You can't really do a lot of damage versus the Timbersaw because you'll always have a lot of armor. They're going to once again look for Limp. He does have the overload hit. He does have a couple more remnants. Bulba maybe turned around upon with coL coming in as well. They will not get Limp as everyone will be defending. Although the orb is going to be thrown out, that will be a really bad orb to jaunt to. And they have to let him go.
Yeah, I think this is what I should be doing on Seafreak. I think he needs to help the mid lane now. But top lane is also scary. Chessie could die to Timber if he's left alone. So I think it's pretty hard for Seafreak on what to do. He's probably not sure. It feels like he has to help both lanes.
And the Bristleback, being that strength hero, with physical damage only up against Timbersaw, again, should be just a cut and dry lane for MSS up towards top lane. CS-wise, it's still pretty close, but as you said, like, once level 5, 6 comes up on the Timbersaw, then Chessie is so easy to take down. Despite how tanky a Bristleback may be, he's actually holding on to a skill point right now. Not entirely sure if that's really value, because you kind of do want that additional survivability, but still it is kind of left up here to dry. So at that point, it's like, who's really going to pick up the slack? If Limp's getting crushed over in the mid lane, then is it Moo who has to start picking things up? Like, a Beastmaster can only do so much, especially up against this matchup where he's still not getting the cleanest lane.
Yeah, I think this is like why I favor DC a lot. I think they just have more choice and versatility in both lanes, and also like how strong they are. Like individually, they have very strong heroes in all 3 core roles and very good support to act on that. Seafreak could still make that work well. Oh, Mason, he has no support. While I was talking about the support, he's out.
Do still keep hitting him. He can't jump onto a tree, but he doesn't need to jump onto a tree because the Jingu's stacking up, although the Wild Axe is flying in. coL can't really catch him with anything. Here comes Bulba with a haste rune from behind. With a chair and with the stick, they will kill off coL. They look for Moo in the side. They do see him 1 second off till the crush. Unfortunately for Bulba, the cooldown's not cooperating with him there, but this roaming Slardar providing some serious pressure that's we could clearly see from Complexity can't really be matched. Io doesn't really do that. He defensively helps his allies. He does not go in for ganks, and Bane kind of the same style.
Yeah, it was nice. I don't know if I would call it bait, but it was nice if it was intentional. Also,
God, Abed just straight killed off Limp. He just dropped the coil and bursted him down. I thought the Storm would be fine if he just kept his distance.
I mean, I see report people made from Complexities. I'm not expecting Limp to die.
This game is falling apart already. Like, it's 5 minutes in and we have upwards of a 2k lead for DC. The net worth is all red on top for the Dire side, and it doesn't look like it's really going to change anytime soon. Like, yeah, you get a big bump in power when you have Roar, when you have Grip, when you have Relocate, but can you actually kill off these enemy DC heroes with that? Like, maybe you can kill off this Monkey King, you can kill off Bulba if he's in a bad spot, but like Puck and MSS, they seem like invulnerable in this game.
Yeah, I mean, MSS has almost reached his invulnerability, I think, in this
coL is gonna get the brain sap, but Faker showing off in the mid lane. He phase shift to cancel the brain sap animation and tried to sneak in that last right click. It was close. But Puck has still got this lane on lock. He's level 7. What do we have on the other cores? Level 5 on the Storm? That's just not good enough, man.
Yeah, it's very rough. He has to do this now. At least they stacked a bit for him. I don't know if they've stacked a ton, but a little bit. MSS now though reached his like laning peak in a way, where I doubt he will die unless they make a huge rotation. Even then, the heroes aren't good at dealing with him. Moo is actually pretty low. Does Boba see him? No, does not have a ward.
Well, now
he's getting there though. Oh,
Moo is just not reacting. He's just standing still. Now this is a very tanky hero. This Beastmaster.
I think he will survive. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's a
shrine, but he has
here.
a shrine.
And now Bulba, he'll be fine as well. No rotations coming in. The shrine is at 100%. But still, that's like, still a shrine forced out. Just one hero. In the meantime, they're scrambling for answers versus this Puck. We do see Complexity starting to get some big ancient value, though Chessie does have to be careful up against the stack of Prowlers. This is as you said, usually how this duo...
Oh, FSS is pretty close. Do they have vision of this?
Well, they don't need vision.
Oh my
Orb gives you vision. I guess you can call it like that.
Yeah, I kind of have to question that though. I think it's maybe inexperienced, as in they play IO tiny, and then they like. You should definitely have a salve ready for IO there, because you should know that bottom lane actually did cut the tree while Mason jumped down though, so he might survive for quite some time.
Nightmare gonna prevent those Jingu stacks from stacking up. He will get it in the end, but
God,
literally all of Complexity are here. Now Limp,
God.
using a lot of his mana pool to jump forward, will find nobody. That is not that bad for DC. Like, yeah, losing Mason is not ideal, but to rotate the entirety of the enemy team for that's kind of just fine. MSS is still just chugging along, looking for that Bloodstone buildup.
I don't know if Move cut the tree with Iron Talon or he used Wild Access. But Mason jumped down and got. That was pretty funny to watch. Jesse is not gonna take any shit from anyone down here. He is very fat. Actually, I haven't switched to network. We see that DC are doing very well. Jesse is the one that's kinda up there, but Faker is doing extremely well. Or Abed. I think I should stop calling the chat.
We saw this before. This time there is help with the orb. Bulba still has not died, which is pretty impressive, honestly, for these position 4 Slardars. Like, when you're running around with Sprint all the time, when you're always just wandering into fog, usually you run into a situation where you get picked off, but the Complexity heroes just can't easily kill off anyone from DC. It'll take them so long with the quills, with the chase down from the storm, that Bulba, now with 3 assists, is making sure that Moo's life stays difficult, and he's setting up for a top lane push with MSS. It'll be really slow. Like, this is going to be glacier slow pushing, but this is going to be something that Complexity also can't do anything about.
Yeah, I think Timber is in a weird way quite similar to like a Brood, where he just takes a lane and stands there and pushes, even though it's a lot slower, but he doesn't really die.
Welcome to the lane, Chessie. Teleports in immediately at half HP.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, he's building towards the mech as well, so that's a pretty... I think a lot of the time mech on Timber isn't good, or on the Bristle isn't good, but with IO it kinda works. And Abed has almost taken down the mid tower as a puck. Pretty impressive versus when he played against a Storm that had an IO kinda off-rotate at least.
That Veil also, Limp is usually going to be fairly safe versus a puck. The only exception is unless you get bursted down. And with this Veil and of course the maxed out Rift and the Orb, it is very feasible to see the puck just set up with a little bit of right click, soften, and then just jump in for that insta-kill. Especially if he has a double damage ring, that certainly doesn't hurt. So this mid lane is, yeah, just all in control of this puck. This Bristleback's farm is still the highest of Complexity, but you can see he has no game up against this MSS Timbersaw. Like, Quills are doing, like, actually nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's Timber in laning is pretty strong. Beast is going ahead of Dominator, which is interesting. I see it every now and then. It's not a... It used to be a thing, you know, when Dominator was still a good item. But it's kind of been nerfed a bit too much, maybe. I mean, there's a new patch coming somewhat soon, hopefully we'll see that again. But not sure if it's a specific reason. I can come up with one, but meanwhile, Chessie might go down. They are making a huge rotation to kill MSS though.
How much damage can they actually do? 20 stacks of reactive. They have a brain sap to seal the deal, and they'll get him. Mostly that Thane's damage with the grip, and the fact that DC were coming in just a little bit too slowly. Chainfrost is out, and there are lots of things to bounce it to. Onto Chessie, back towards the boar, back towards Moo. But Faker has already used most of his damage. He's going to have to bottle up and wait for a couple more cooldowns before they can continue this. It is a 1-for-1 trade that Complexity are going to be kind of happy with, but at the same time, they are going to lose the control of this bottom lane now. Just this game of whack-a-mole for Complexity is not being played, as they don't have enough hammers. They will find Moon, though. They will bring him down. MSS is back with chop right through. Looking for Z-Freak. Oh god, there's still double damage on this puck. And no, they don't need it. They have a stick.
That's a good rotation. That's a good forced rotation from Z-Freak though. That most every core is on top lane right now, so you know that's space for sure. And I think Helmut Dominator, if he might be looking to try and get a Satyr and purge the spells from Lich. That makes some sense, unless they want to go for a very heavy push at Bolba. Good dodge from them, dodging the Slardar stun.
We'll take down the Slardar. As DC can definitely afford these losses. Just a Lich to die here, a Slardar to die there. Not really the end of the world. What level's Moon at anyways? Level 7 has that tome to give to someone. Probably not himself, but we'll see what creep the Beastmaster's going to try to focus on. Purge is also really good at dealing with that Corrosive Haze of the Slardar if you do get those baby Satyrs. Right now, though, he'll take the Big Daddy Satyr.
Yeah,
a little bit of extra power there, so you gotta get something.
I think this is. I like this item a lot, personally, and I think it's gonna be pretty good this game. It depends a lot on how they play around it, though. As in, like, are they pushing a lot? Then it makes some sense. I don't know if it has another real purpose, but I mean, I always like seeing this item, so I'm happy about it.
It gives you a lot of options. Like, maybe with a more traditional medallion into, like, Blink Dagger, Necro Book type of thing with Beastmaster, like, you can go for that solo kill power, but we already established that actually killing these heroes off is so difficult that going for this different style of Beastmaster play is maybe going to give them a little bit more of an edge. They're thinking about going for the Beastmaster with the smoke.
Big smoke, yeah.
Turn 180 and go back towards mid. If they kept on going for bottom, they could have killed him. But unfortunately for DC, decided on the wrong thing. They will still find Kyle, who's going to maybe set up for a Timbersaw kill. Is going to be really quickly punished if he does do so. Bulba poked out a little bit, but I don't think that was in vision range. Otherwise, the Bane will be falling back right now. Is still going to back off, though, and that smoke from DC, unfortunately, just by bad luck, is, going to work out on Chessie? No?
He just ran past on.
Ignored. There is a grip here, but Abed has the Blink Dagger. Yeah. The top lane was pushing the entire time. Limp does have the backup here of this IO. So relocate out, so they have to be careful about their coil placement. They're just going to try to burst him down. He's going to get really far away. Z-Freak doesn't have tether range, although Limp will be able to get out. Do they even know that IO relocated there? It doesn't seem like they do, so IO should be just fine. In the meantime, bottom lane and mid lane, it seems like Complexity is starting to regain at least some semblance of control in their lanes. At least they can go in and farm without dying, which is not exactly anything to write home about, but hey, it's better than before.
They're forcing some rotations, but they're not getting like objective damage, so... Bulba is closing in on the blink pretty fast, honestly. 15 minutes. Slardar is one of the heroes that have trouble getting blink in a good timing. He kind of needs to get space and get it by farming. But he's doing a good job so far. He's gonna pick it up within a minute if he doesn't die. And Moo has been catching up very nicely as well. I think I've seen him here on bottom lane for quite some time farming with his Helmut Dominator. So he's definitely farming at a pretty good speed. And not getting tower damage though, which is what you want to do with Beast, but I mean, if you're controlling the wave and getting the jungle, you're okay with that.
He's maxed out Aura at this point, so his creeps and the creep wave is going to be doing some pretty serious damage. Like, just looking at this catapult, look at it go, man. And Invoker, Alacrity, eat your heart out. And of course, this will be constantly defended by DC, or at least it looks like it'll be constantly defended. But they are going to defend it. They will struggle to actually stop it.
Courier
Went forward, that's a dead courier.
I think it's dead, yeah.
Radiant's courier
has been that's a good play. And
they
are
Moo,
hunting for Moo. Yeah, he's out. He's TPing close to Abed. Are they gonna go for a push mid? I think most of DC has TP, so yeah, everyone has TC. And he just picked up the blink on Slardar. This could be pretty scary. They don't know this yet. He could bait with, like, put a hero in front that will get Bane Grip and then just counter it.
They saw Bulba, I think, with that Hawk, but it was only for a split second, so they may not have had enough time to register that Blink Dagger. They're going to jump in towards base and up towards top lane for right now. Kind of only a half-hearted attempt there for Complexity. Z-Freak can get this Storm Spirit out of there. Will get, yeah, obliterated. He's super dead, and now they're onto Kyle. Orb through. He's surrounded and dropped. Two supports going down here for Complexity. These are acceptable losses, again, as long as their heroes are farming. And Chessie, Moo, they are indeed getting a lot of gold in the meantime, but this style of kind of just get pickoffs with the roar, with the grips, doesn't seem like it's actually working out too well yet for Complexity. They still have a little bit more time to get that set up, and they will smoke in.
Chessie is
Looking
taking
for
a big
Chessie. He's taking a lot of damage from these Ancients, but he's also clearing them out pretty rapidly, and the smoke's just heading in the wrong direction. They're not expecting the Bristleback to be there, so they're going to go for the hero that's presenting himself in the Beastmaster. They should have more than enough disables to actually kill him off. Blink Crush with the Chain Frost. He's dead.
Yeah, Chessie cleared a stack though at the same time, which, I mean, is about the same. I would say he got more gold than DC got there, but you're stopping. You know, this tower is 75% HP, and there's been a Beastmaster on this lane for more than 5 minutes, I think. So, you know, that's not how it normally looks. But I think.
Oh, it's gonna get chopped down. That's a 4-second ball lightning stun. And well, he's actually not dead yet. Turns around for a Boundless Strike. Are you kidding me? No way. 4 seconds is still not enough. They do get the grip off onto the Slaughter, keep him out of the fight. And the rotations coming out from DC are kind of few and far between as Abed was stuck on the bottom lane. But you find a jump on a Monkey King like that, you should be able to kill him.
Yeah, I think they messed up there. I mean, they might have felt like they would die if they committed, but in hindsight, they should have. I think they should almost do it. They had a really kid out, I think. Yeah, they had a really kid out ready.
Down the strike. Where you going, Bane?
States.
Express. That's not Express TP. That's the slow TP. Level 1, maybe it's Express TP. Well, he's dead. Now the bottom lane kind of lost control here for the Complexity side. They are also not actively pushing out the mid lane nor the top lane. They're getting to it, but they're just not there just yet. So Complexity at this point don't really have their strength working for them and will lose probably this tower. Ice Armor, Echo Saber on the Monkey King. There's not much that a Beastmaster can do here except for throw wild axes and pull aggro, but even that's not even a safe play. Revealing yourself will mean that there's a coil in your face soon.
Oh, Slaughter looking for Chessie. This seems pretty far though. Yeah, he's just poking. Limp almost got the Bloodstone, and Slaughter, I mean Bristle has his core items and looking for a Lotus. This is kind of how I like the Bristleback to play. Maybe he could have waited with the pipe and went Lotus first, I think is what I would have done, or what I like to do. But this is definitely an okay build in my opinion.
Still, Chessie will take quite a nice chunk of damage here. His regen is extremely high with this build. And top lane, Limp is going to get yanked out. Io should be in a little bit of trouble here, but so is Boba. Hit with the grip from Kyle. Will be dropping. Io actually relocated towards mid. Is going to try for the frame perfect TP. It was close. He's going to end up in the Monkey King ultimate. I'm not really sure if the Io deserved that. But it is going to be a 1-for-1 exchange. And now Complexity feeling pretty comfortable to keep on going. Although I'm not really sure if they should. There's no real initiation here from DC. But they will still throw out the Chain Frost onto Chessie. Barrier goes up. Will not protect him up against this pure damage. Now Abed's going to join in on the fun as well. The damage on this Bristleback just not enough, as now it's only MSS doing any damage. The rest of his allies are gone. Where did they go? Can somebody help this Timbersaw, because he's roared. He's in a lot of trouble right now. Suicide, he's not going to get it off. I don't know really what happened there from DC. They just didn't have people, I guess. Monkey King didn't have a TP.
I mean, I think Complexity are just starting to play really well right now. I didn't expect MSS to die there, and I think the Medallion, he wasn't expecting that minus armor to come in and do so much. And that relocate save also earlier on Storm was so clutch. Mid lane, Kyle is gonna get jumped. This seems quite desperate. Could turn the other way. No grip though.
They're just gonna drag back the sleep. And they'll be fine. It does feel like these fights are working out really well for Complexity, because they're taking it when DC like teleport out with one of their heroes, or for whatever reason the heroes on DC aren't there as 5. I don't know if we could call that like a good fight from DC, or a good fight from Complexity, or just like a bad set of teleportation managements from DC. But either way, if they keep doing that, if they keep finding these advantageous numerical positions where they just have more heroes, then And this is where Complexity's draft really starts to take off. This is where like Io and Bane in particular are absolute powerhouses.
Yeah, I think I didn't expect Bane to be this high level at this point, honestly. I mean, Seafreak isn't doing too well, but he's doing good enough. And Abed picked up by Lincoln's, but it's also relatively easily blocked by... I mean, it's Bristleback who can block it, or remove it rather. And then if they react properly, they could burst him after that. MSS got 8 bloodstone charges, which is not the dream either, after picking it up relatively recently. Necro soon on Mu as well, that's a pretty huge item. Really good against, especially the Timber, I think, just draining its mana.
Lots of unwieldy damage from DC that is going to be killing off those Necro units. Last Will is definitely an ability you have to caution against. Abed, we'll see Chessie, and Bulba is just going to charge right in, lands a crush, but they're again going for this Bristleback, who's incredibly tanky, and they also take down Mason on top lane. They're just going to turn this around. There's a Chain Frost here, so they're going to split up a little bit, but this is just 2 heroes for Complexity, driving everyone from DC back while they get kills, while they get split farm. This is not how DC end up winning this game. They need to switch things up just a little bit here, because that was...
Bottom lane, they're setting up to kill Mu.
They're going to dive right in. Abed is here as well. Veil combo is good, but let's get the roar out. Can he TP? Can he turn? Looks like he's gonna try to run. Well, there's another crush here, so he will go down. He will finally take down something, DC. But again, as soon as you move in with those heroes in the bottom lane, then Chessie and Kyle start pushing in towards mid, and Complexity are starting to really get their kind of mobility act together, especially Limp, who at this point 14 Bloodstone charges. Once he gets this Orchid, is going to be very, very difficult to deal with or without Z-Freak.
Yeah, I was surprised that they managed to kill Mason with Storm not even having the Orchid yet. But Complexity is doing a pretty incredible comeback, and it looks so simple as well. You know, that's what I'm really impressed about. It's not like one huge team fight. They just, you know, getting closer and closer to DC all the time. And Bane is trying to initiate on MSS, I think, but it's harder to do than to think. Bulba, he hasn't really progressed after this either. I think he might need a secondary item before they can really come online, or at least levels. I think is maybe even more important, so that they actually have kill potential on the cores.
It just hasn't seemed like he's been able to find the right crushes on the right targets. Most of them, I mean, he went towards the bottom lane, got a kill on the Beastmaster, that's not bad, but landing a crush on an IO should be like an immediate kill. A Bane should be a pretty fast kill as well, but it just always seems like the positioning for Complexity is such that Chessie is in the front lines, or the Storm Spirit's in the front lines, and you can crush a Storm, but you can't easily kill him afterwards. Bulba is now spotted, will blink up, blind into the IO, will find him. Z-Freak is with Relocate right now, gets bashed, and with the Corrosive Haze, should be swatted down, yes, by Mason's rotation in. They lose Z-Freak as Complexity, or DC rather, they do get pretty much the ideal situation for accelerating Slaughter. Gotta look for those easy pickoffs with the Blink Crush and Corrosive Haze.
Pretty clutch Blink. Limp was just, he actually sent the right leg on Bulba to stop that Blink, but he blinked right in time. And Mu is starting to get scary as well. He got the Boar Summoned talent, which is pretty great. You need to see four boars here. My bad. And he has the Neko 1 going up Blink. I think this is kind of a newer build, or like people don't like upgrading Necro until later on nowadays.
Just take a look at the scaling. It's not any huge leap forward from every level. It's a very linear scaling item.
Yeah, it's like either you have 1 or you have 3. Because the second one is useless, kind of like that.
Well, it feels useless.
Yeah.
But it's like, in actuality, it's not actually any worse that by a huge margin or anything like that. They'll relocate for Abed over in bottom lane, chop some trees, chase the orb down. Abed did not jaunt to it though, so he's gonna play pretty tricky, but still takes a big hit from that ball lightning. Limp's not with that much mana. And Abed's gonna blink out one more time. Heroes are chasing in for Moon in the meantime.
Oh god, he took him back.
Mu is in a little bit of trouble. Lincoln Sphere is going to be absorbing the roar. No, not quite. But now he's got to deal with Mason. He's going to get picked off, and over in the mid
what a
lane,
disaster.
top lane, actually, MSS receives the relocate back, ends up killing both of them. So DC, they lose the Lich, but are able to keep Abed alive just with some smooth moves. Bulba is going to survive as well.
That was pretty well played by DC. They set up on the relocate back. I don't think they really expected Lim to be brought there. So they got that kill was pretty close to Lim, tried to TP out, but didn't manage to. And then, you know, Mason comes down bottom, cleans up there, and then Complexity managed to kill Lich in mid lane, I think, with a... They didn't use Swing Script, but it was, I think it was Sashay and coL doing it together. But that was like nothing in comparison to what DC got there.
Abed being so tricky and difficult to actually pin down. Like, he already is just inherently a hero that's difficult to deal with. Add a Lincoln Sphere on top of that, and the fact that Complexity don't have any, well, at least with the heroes that were there, any like trash spells to throw in and pop that Lincoln's, means that locking him down, killing him off, very, very difficult. Now that they do have the Orchid and the pullback on the Storm with the Electric Vortex, they will have at least a chance to deal with that puck in the future. But right now they have their eyes set on something else, somewhere else. There's a dire scan, which will just turn red. And that will keep them safe, or at least it should.
Bottom lane was revealing this. No one's defending bottom, so it's pretty obvious what's happening. And MSS is kind of frontline tank it. They managed to de-ward though. This is getting pretty intense. There is a shrine up for DC.
Oh, Moon is going to be revealed first thing. Chessie pushing forward as well. Takes the crush. Takes quite a bit of damage here from the Timbersaw, as well as that Monkey King already down to half HP. But they're going to jump in, try to take down Bulba. In the meantime, they won't be able to do that either. Still, they'll take down Z-Freak as Faker does jump in. And Chessie still holding his ground right now, but in the Wukong command, can't really get that much done. coL now is going to be aggressive upon by Mason. Should be dealt with by the Monkey King as they also chase down for this Beastmaster. He already used his roar. His payload is pretty much entirely been used, and now he's going to get squashed by the jump in from the Monkey King. DC fight near their shrine and end up winning. What a surprise. Shrines are really powerful, turns out, and that's going to set up immediately for a Roche. Corrosive Haze is unfortunately not going to stick initially, but they'll be able to get 4-0 and a Roshan afterwards. That's a massive win for DC.
Yeah, what a nice fight for DC. I thought they were gonna make a mistake by focusing Sessi because he's the tankiest one, but then like it's almost like Z-Freak died as collateral when they tried to kill the Bristle, because MSS just jumped through the Bristle and bursted him, and then like, oh, there's an IO there that died while I did it. It's pretty rough to see that Z-Freak just like, oh, I just died that easily, and then when he dies, the Bristle becomes easy to kill afterwards. And it looks hard for Complexity. I don't know how they will play it now, because that was a very one-sided fight, and I don't know if they can take much better ones either. Kind of catching some off heroes. It was a good counter by DC, but still.
And it's also like what Complexity's draft is the weakest at. Like, they don't really have that team fight power. Like, a lot of single target focus, but you can't really focus down heroes one at a time when everyone from DC is there, when there's a Chain Frost, Timbersaw in your face, obviously coL in there, as well as the Wukong's command. So it did seem like for Complexity, they were only hoping for one guy, and they found way too much. And well, speaking of finding that one guy, it'll be Moo to be spotted out by Bulba. Tries to TP out. There's a Boundless Strike here. They'll quickly do him in, as well as his creeps. They'll all fall. But, I mean, that's Complexity walking into a scenario where their heroes just aren't strong. And DC's heroes are amazing, plus around the shrine. So I feel like if Complexity just don't do that in the future, try to stay separated, they'll have a much better shot. Right now, they're going to jump in towards Bulba. He is silenced right now, but with this health, he looks like he'll actually survive a very long time. Chain Frost now going to start bouncing through as they take down coL, and it's still bouncing. Limp getting destroyed by this. And now here comes the DC support. Chessie will get left behind. Boundless Strike is theirs. They'll take down the Storm Spirit. The yank out from the IO will end up saving that Bristleback, but I don't think the IO has much of a chance here unless he gets that frame perfect TP. Is he gonna even try for it? No, he's back and he's dead.
Yeah, Complexity trying to kind of pick another team fight, even though it wasn't intended to be a team fight. I think it's gonna be, they need to realize now, or I think they have realized. It's not like they need to realize. They realize they can't really fight DC anymore. But they're not strong enough to split push either. They don't have like any real damage, and Chessie is gonna get jumped. He is very tanky, but he is completely alone.
He has no TP. There's a Storm Spirit teleporting to the Shrine. And Bulba's taking quite a bit of damage here. He gets the corrosive reflected on him, so Limp may be able to make this a 1-for-1. But indeed, Chessie will fall for Bulba. For the DC side, that's completely okay with them. And Limp, well, he'll get juiced back up to a decent amount of mana. They use the Shrine here, though. So DC, if they want to fight, they can get away with it. Boundless Strike is going to catch onto 2, letting Mason sneak away with that invis. They also find the Timbersaw off to the side. The damage is going to come in with the grip, but the Wukong's command will destroy the Bane, and Mojo will go down, but Abba's going to land a really nice coil in the middle of 3. Z-Freak will be still alive, actually. The Chain Frost is going to get thrown in towards Moo instead. We'll get Mason a double kill after all said and done. Limp's going to try to race for Abed, use the rest of his mana to get out of there. Should be fine, as Abed does have a Yule Scepter. Blink forward, silence onto the IO. Not quite enough damage, but they will actually get it in the end. Zeke's gonna right click there. Limp doesn't have enough mana to get back to the high ground. Now Bounce Strike, will miss from Mason. And I think that means Limp survives as he gets towards another shrine, gets more mana, and will, yes, get back to safety or not. Jumping in for Abed, we'll try for it, but oh man, what a time to miss Boundless Strike. That could have definitely made the difference there. And oh my god, Abed is level 25.
Yeah,
when the hell did that happen?
he got it in the middle of fight, and then he skilled the illusion orb. This time, like, he just see this orb flying around at massive speed. It was pretty. I think that might have been like kind of a panic click. Like he's like, oh, I can get another kill if I skill this up, and then he's like, oh, maybe I should have went GPM talent now in hindsight. But I think it might not matter that much. He is very farmed, and he's gonna get 6-started at a decent rate either way. They're looking to kill Limp. Mason got the Silver Edge, so he can kind of set this up.
They need a silence and a coil, and they need a Boundless Strike to land this time. And oh my god, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, they got him. They got him. They're also looking for maybe Chessie on this bottom lane. Well, actually, we'll head in the opposite direction, going in towards mid, where Kyle the Bane is looking a little bit more vulnerable. The Hawk is going to see them, but it's a little bit too late for that, because he's already well initiated on. Z-Freak and Moo also kind of left behind here. At least the Io will be. Bulba with the crush in 2 seconds. He won't have the blink. He already used it. So they can't go in, although Faker's already in. Abed, what you doing? Now crush onto 2. Chain Frost is out as well. The barrier does go up. The creeps are absorbing a lot of this damage. And they're only focusing onto the Slar. That's perfectly fine for Bulba, because here comes the Wukong's command. In the enemy tier 3, when they still have tier 2 to deal with, DC just disrespecting complexity at this point, will finally move back and take down the tier 2, but this lead is becoming more and more difficult to actually deal with, as there's no one for complexity to defend this, and their ability to challenge this full 5-man push is almost non-existent.
I mean, the net worth graph has kind of exceeded expectations now for DC. They are very far ahead in net worth, and no, it was looking okay for complexity for a while, but they dropped. I feel like it's lacking quite a lot, as in they can't split push and force these. They had some very nice pickoff, and Kyle seems to be looking, but he's not gonna find anything. Yeah, they were like split pushing a bit and also getting some kills, but they had no tower damage or any objective damage really. It was supposed to be on the beast. Oh,
is actually fine because Mason.
The rest of them.
Mason already used his Silver Edge, so he couldn't break him.
Yeah, but they're lacking like real tower damage.
Though. Full channel grip on the bottom lane. Kill. Limp just going off. Yule Scepter.
Oh, what a big kill.
Yeah, would have been there, but Kyle's going to unfortunately
get
Kyle,
the last hit. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. That would have been a huge kill for Limp. He would have. Oh, are they gonna find him as well? Really get in. I think this might be a good bait from complexity.
Oh my god, that whirling death combo from Mojo just annihilated that IO first thing, and now complexity don't have any more gas, no more sustain in this fight, as Mason's gonna deploy the monkey squad onto Chessie with the pure damage from MSS. Will slaughter another one. Moo is well visioned up, although he will have a blink dagger. Somehow he got that off, but can he actually survive? Oh my god, no, he cannot survive. That's a corrosive haze, boundless strike. Is he level 25? He is, but he didn't even have the crit leveled up with that talent. I mean, DC, they lose the puck, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna be okay with it. The IO literally got like 100-0'd by the Timbersaw in like half a second. That was disgusting.
Yeah, that was very rough. I thought Bristle was gonna. I thought they were gonna bait here, and the Storm is gonna tank. Then the Relocate comes in, he tethers the Storm, gives him mana. Meanwhile, Bristleback is unkillable, but Bristleback went down pretty fast with the pretty sick Chain Frost on the relocating people, as in Io and Bristle, and Io died instantly, and Bristle lost at least half his HP within a second, with MSS damage added in there as well.
DC just gonna chill out and wait for another Roche. And again, split pushing these lanes for Complexity, that's really where they're at their strongest. You don't really see that happening just yet. They don't have the heroes alive right now. And sooner or later, DC are going to look for that next Roche whenever it's up, which is going to be in 2 minutes. Pretty long spawn time here for DC to wait, but just the fact that they're getting all these pickoffs, the fact that they're really limiting the Complexity farm rate, I'm sure they'll be fine with this, because they're still getting all these opportunities, and as long as Abed is still keeping himself safe, particularly versus the Bane, then the rest of the DC heroes can just wander around and just do this, lock down the entirety of the map, though they are spotted by the bird.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And there's a very good ward in on bottom lane to help Abed here as well, so he doesn't die. Meanwhile, top tower is being taken down somewhat slowly against backdoor, but the creeps have arrived. Oh, they're smoking to catch them bottom. This, if it's fast enough. Oh, he's gonna break Mason. Yeah, he did.
He did. Mason though is gonna jump away.
That might reveal the. Oh, he has this. He's the one with the invest though, so it's harder to detect him.
Yeah,
they kinda sense it though.
There's no vision in this area. Bulba is going to jump in along with Abed. They find the Io and they find the Bane at the exact same time. Bulba is going to get pulled back in from Limp, but my god, the damage from that Balance Strike is huge with the new talent. Kyle's going to try to TP out. It looks like he is going to get Yuled out of it, as they also chase after Limp. Is out of mana in the trees, is going to go down 3-0 for the DC squad, as that was some picture-perfect initiation between Abed and Bulba. And it's going to be pretty much all the mobility, all the split push power of Complexity taken off the board. And now DC, they don't really have to wait for that, they don't have to wait for that Roshan. What are they doing? They're trying to clean out these Tinker wards? Yeah, sure. They don't have to wait for Roshan. They can just go in and start punching those towers.
They don't have the highest tower damage themselves, but Monkey King is so farmed, he's probably going to do a pretty high amount of damage on these towers now. When the creeps decide to arrive, they are dewarding right now, so they're taking a bit longer time than normal. Abed is pushing it in as well. Are they gonna bait? Seems like it. They want this game to continue. I think they don't really need to push high ground, especially, you know, against a Storm who can jump in, do a ton of damage, then even die, buy back and do it again, and you could get wiped from that. And it's pretty scary. You want to be a bit careful about something like that.
Maybe get an additional item, such as a full health restore item, and you know, maybe an item that brings you back from the dead. Those would be some pretty powerful items as far as pushing up the high ground, and DC are going to get right to work on that one. Hey, look at that! Roshan's up, so they'll have exactly those items. And for Complexity, there is no way in hell they'll be able to get over there and contest this. So Monkey King gets the double life and the cheese, and more importantly, perhaps, they have an angle here onto this Bristleback. There is going to be an Io in the trees. I don't think was spotted by anything there. Chessie, though, just going to walk out of there. That Chain Frost is not really chaining anywhere, but they'll also find the Io. Bulba, doing his due diligence, kills off Z-Free, and now the doors are wide open.
Time. He ran, like, predict blinks on the Io this game, or he scan. I didn't really catch it. Guess it's too hard to dive on, so they want to be careful about that. But
Leader's guard jump in, is going to catch a couple with the damage. It's going to go towards the Timbersaw mostly, but the puck does jump in and interrupt that. And now the Wukong is just going to go to town versus Chessie. Beats him down, even had the double life, still has that ultimate. Sun Wukong in the house for real now. He is probably going to lose his life, but no, Bubble with a clutch stun onto 2 will get Mason and Mojo out of there. Cheese will be passed to the Timbersaw, letting them continue this engagement if they choose to do so. But ultimately, that is going to be the Bristleback buyout forced and the Bane to be taken down. DC, do they have a live shrine here? Yeah, they do. So it's time to juice back up to full, or near full at least. They're winning engagement after engagement with really no contest.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a draft issue. from Complexity where they have like no team fight. And DC has a lot, and they are very far ahead, so it's even harder because of that. DC are fighting against a high ground, and they can't launch Jesse. They can go, but they won't kill him, I think. The boundless strike is scary though, because if I were like, oh, I want to help Jesse, and then like boundless strikes from 1000 range hits him, he's dead. I think it one-shots him, unless if he has Buckler active, maybe not.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be doing some damage. How much? Let's see, he's got 3 plus 16
there.
armor. Yeah, Z-Freak actually has quite a bit of physical resist.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Bell if you're in his inventory either, Mason, because he has the Aegis, so that's like 200 less damage. I think he survived.
It's like, yeah, he doesn't get one shot. Whoop-de-doo. That's something truly great to celebrate. They'll just deploy the Monkey Squad. Jump in from Limp is gonna start to go towards this Monkey King, but in his circle, he is rather immune to physical damage, and now the coil Chain Frost doing quite a bit of damage here to the Bristleback and the Storm, just keeping them out of the fight. They will have additional time to restore as DC will fall back after having taken that tier 3 tower. Perhaps not quite the extent of what they really wanted, but hey, now the shrines are open. They still have Aegis. They should still have Cheese. Yeah, they do, so they still have control.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to kill the shrines now, which is the main objective, I think, of for now. And I think they're gonna go for a secondary push a bit later. Moon
spotted by Limp, and will get Force Staff out. Glimmer is there, although Limp is gonna give chase. They will take down the Lich. Bulba is going to find Moo, and now the Focus Fire as Mason, oh my god, gets a full restore thanks to the Boundless Strike with the Jingu. They find Kyle with the Purge. They'll take him down as well. Z-Freak off on the side will relocate back to the base, leaving Limp here alone, but Limp is fine. Doesn't matter, they're just going to call GG. Jeez, I mean, that's what happens when you get Monkey King with 26k net worth. He will destroy you. He never really got super close either to using that Aegis.
Yeah, with the level 25 talent on Boundless Strike, and I mean, I thought that was like, okay, Moo has high ground position here, he can roar anyone he wants, and the Necro is gonna do a decent amount of damage, and then like, Boundless Strike, and he's down to 10% HP.
Monkey King, man. Monkey King. I thought Monkey King was like nerfed, but we still see him just like going off in so many of these games. And it wasn't, of course, like just Mason doing well on Digital Chaos. It was impressive initiations from Bulba, from Abed. Obviously, MSS getting like a free ride in lane doesn't really hurt, but it does seem like you outlined the weaknesses of Complexity pretty well. Like, they just couldn't start team fights, and in stark contrast to that, they have been picking up IO Tiny. They've been picking up a lot of Warlock. Like, they've been picking up a lot of teamfight heroes, but just in this particular game, fell short in their matchup. So they're going to lose this first game up against Digital Chaos. Complexity will have another shot here, as this is a best of 3. Winner faces Immortals. Guys, I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Kefka. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 coming soon.